Okay, we moved me up into that corner. Listen, I don't know if you've read the news. I've been in a cave the last couple of days or whatever, but we just passed a new stimulus deal, and the president's supposed to sign it today. But it's all done by Congress. Been waiting for those guys to get off their butt for a long time. Okay, but in there, one of the big things is rent. And the reason I want to cover this first is because this is going to go quickly, I think, because it's an X amount of dollars, $25 billion going to be given all over the country. The Fed's going to give it to the states will give it to the counties. And usually probably if they had any rent payments earlier, they'll probably go into the same system. So what I'm trying to do today is let you know about what's in this program. Most people are probably going to apply for it. Unless you're making a lot of money, you won't be eligible. And to start today, finding out where that's going to be, okay? And you could start today, even by calling your congressman. Okay, where is this going to be for where I live? So you're ready. When they get that money, you just start being first in line, okay? Okay, now here's the deal, okay? It's called a rent relief program. And it's really amazing. Okay, emergency rental assistance. Okay, I mean they estimate like, what 10, 20 million people are going to lose, be thrown out in the street or whatever. Okay, of the total amount of 400 million will be allocated to U.S. territory. Okay, well, it's 25 billion is the total one. Now, some goes to territories, some goes to Indian lands and things like that. Okay, at least 90%. So they're going to give a whole bunch of money to your state. We'll give it to the counties. But 90% of the money they get has to be used to provide assistance. See, a lot of money programs, they'll waste half of it on overhead, like your uncle came in and helped you and you had to pay him, stuff like that. So 90% of the funds must be used to provide financial assistance, including back and forward rent and utility payments and other housing expenses. Wow. So you get back rent, maybe you owe 6 months. Okay, that's it, because this is up to like 15 months worth of stuff. So a year's back and 3 months ahead forward. Assistance can be provided for 12 months. States and localities can provide an extra 3 months. That's where you get the 15. Okay, if necessary to ensure that you don't lose your home. Okay, when providing rent assistance, can only be given for 3 months through households can subsequently reapply for additional assistance. So in other words, they're giving 3 months, and they get 3 more months. To the extent that households have back rent, states and localities may not make commitments for forward rent payments unless they have also provided assistance to reduce an eligible household's back rental payment. So they can't give you money to pay future rent if you owe past rent. So they have to give you money to pay your past rent that you owe before they say, okay, here's the next 3 months rent. Recipients would be able to use the remainder of the funds. That the recipients there are the state and local, not you. You're the recipient's recipient to provide case management and other services related to the pandemic. See, what happens, a lot of the states, what they'll give it to nonprofits locally to manage these. And they get like 10% of the money that they got from the feds. Recipients would be able to use the remainder of the funds to provide case management and other service related to the pandemic as defined by the Secretary of Treasurer. Under the legislation, cities and states can make payments directly to the landlords, okay? Do not pass go, directly to the landlords. So they can do that. Or utility companies. So you own a bunch to the utility company and a bunch to your landlord. The state, the county, whoever gets that money where you live can pay directly. Okay, but listen to this. On behalf of the renters. If the landlord refuses to accept the rental assistance, no, don't give me that money. I can't imagine them doing that, but if they do, cities and states can give assistance directly to the renter. So if the landlord says, no, you can't, I don't want to touch that thing, then they'll give it to you and you decide what to do with it. You can then make payments directly to the landlord or utility provider. Eligibility. Funds must be used for households with incomes below 80% of the median income. AMI, area median income. And states and localities must prioritize households below 50%. Okay, here's the deal on that. Let's say the median income, like where I live in Montgomery County, where I did live, I don't live in DC now. I think the median income was like 90 grand or some crazy thing like that. I think around the country it's like 60. So if it was 90, because that's easier math for me, and you got up to 80% of that where you're eligible. So that's probably like 70, 73,000 or something like that, if that's your income. But if you haven't made anything this week or this month, then there's no problem. So that's what you're eligible. However, if you're 50% or lower, the states and locality must prioritize households below 50%, okay? Or those who are unemployed or have been unemployed for 90 days, okay? So that gets you to the head of the line too, if you're unemployed. States and localities can provide additional priorities of funds, so they can do other stuff they want. Income determination will be based on either the household's total income of 2020, so you can base it on 2020 income. So if you're back in rent, you probably ain't made much and you're going to fit in any category. Or a monthly income of the household is receiving at the time of application. So in other words, they could use the year 2020 or what you're getting this month. So this month I only made $10. That's your income. So you're below everything. So you don't have to worry about. The state and locality must redetermine and if they're doing it by a monthly, what's your income this month, they must reevaluate every 3 months. Under the bill, households are eligible for emergency rental assistance if one or more of the individuals has qualified for unemployment benefits and can attest in writing that he or she has experienced a reduction in household or can attest in writing. So you don't have to be unemployed, but you had a reduction in rent. Okay, I mean in income. So you just attest to that. I say that I'm not making as much money as last year. That's attesting to it. Okay, if you incurred significant costs, you experience other financial hardships due directly or indirectly to the pandemic. Okay, so you have all kinds of stuff. You had to take care of grandma, whatever it is. Okay, and can demonstrate the risk of experiencing homelessness or housing instability. They're going to throw you out if you don't pay the rent, right? Or tie you to the railroad tracks or whatever they do nowadays. Yeah. Rental assistance provided through this system would not be regarded as income or considered when determining eligibility for other federal benefits. So if they pay you 50 grand for the last 6 months rent or 12 months or whatever, that's not income. They're not going to take you off a SNAP or any other government benefits. Not sure about it. I would assume not taxes, but I'm not sure. It doesn't say here. Okay, the role of landlords. What are they going to? Proposed legislation allows landlords and property owners to aid tenants in applying for assistance or applying on renter's behalf. If a landlord applies for assistance on behalf of the tenant must co-sign the application. The landlord must provide the tenant documentation of the application, and the payments must be used to pay the tenant's rental obligations. Okay, so they could apply this paperwork for you, but you got to sign it. So you're in control there. Deadlines, okay. Beginning September 30th, the Treasury is required to recapture excess funds not obligated by the state. Okay, so September 30th of 2021, next year, if the state hasn't paid it all, the federal can come back and take some of the money. But if they've already committed it, they can't take it, and there's all kind of stuff there. Worry about that later, but just to know. Okay, eviction moratorium. This is very important. And by the way, don't forget, this is for utility payments too, okay, and energy payments too. Okay, eviction moratorium. Proposal extends 1 month through January 31st, the end of next month, the CDC eviction moratorium for non-payment of rent to keep renters in their homes while state and local governments work out quickly to distribute aid to households in need. So I guess that's mortgage too, mortgage or rent. The CDC had that letter, and I have a link down here to the CDC. You should find out, if you have to sign a new letter, if you already signed one or whatever, that prevents anybody from evicting you until the end of this month. but now they're extending it to the end of next month. Okay, and it tells you could contact the NLIHC, the National Low Income Housing Coalition, who prepared this report that I'm writing, because this is a nonprofit organization. I trust that data to be more complete than anything else. And so they just came out with this report this morning, and they're very good for these kinds of issues. So you could go to their website, National Low Income Housing Coalition, NLIHC.org. Okay, extension of relief. Okay, the bill extends the deadline from December 30th this year, in a couple of weeks, to December 31st next year for all of these programs, all the CARES from 10, 12 months ago, whenever that was, March, where we had this relief package. That was supposed to all end December 30th this year. Now it says it's going to end next year, December 31st. So now it's obviously for the rent programs, because there's a lot of other money in these rent programs that went to states that the state is still sitting on. And that you should be looking for too. See, this is why they extended it. They didn't want to take that money back from them in 2 weeks after they're giving them more. So let them use that. And a lot of states haven't used that rent money. So that's another one you could apply for. So you have two. You have this new one that you don't know where to apply for yet, and have all the old money that a lot of states and a lot of localities, cities, states, counties didn't give out yet, and they've been hustling. That's why you see so many new programs. You Google this stuff and you'll see dozens and dozens every day all over the country of rent grants. That's why you got to look every day. You set up an alert, just put rent grants or something like that. Rental assistance, rent relief, all those kinds of words, and do a dozen. So you see every week to say maybe one will pop up near you. Okay. Now also low income housing credits. That's for investors, where they give you funds. Rich people give you money to have real estate investment because they don't have to pay taxes on the money, on the income they give you, and you're a partner. So it makes a deal for them. Okay, and here's the organization that wrote this thing. It's NLIHC, NL, Nancy, Lima, EI, Indigo, H, Home, C, Charlie.org. Okay, now here's another thing. To check at the extension of the eviction notice. That's at cdc.gov. See if you haven't filled out that notice, or if you have, see if that applies to you. Because they can, if you fill that out, they can't evict you. But it's not on every property, but a whole lot. So check that out. Got that there. By the way, I'm going to put this report in, I'm doing it for Let's Go Help members. And so they obviously will get everything. But I'm going to make it free to everybody, unless the Let's Go Help members yell at me too much. I got to make them happy. They're feeding me. But I know a lot of $20 that I charge is, it's stupid to give me $20 if you're not paying rent. You got to pay rent first, and take care of yourself. So take care of you first. Now, here's a video of a guy on YouTube that I watched that explains this too. If you don't like my tacky jokes, this guy, he's not bad. He's sort of fun watch, and not as tacky as I am though. So maybe, but he's got a good feel for it. He's an investor. You want to invest in stocks. I mean, that's crazy. But if you do, but to have a video of that other than me, I put that in there for it. Now, here's the other thing too: 438 other rental programs all over the country. 438. Okay, that same organization, NLIHC, keeps track of them. They got a list of them. Okay, and that's still not all of them. But that sees there, look at 438 of them at the state level, local level, and 132 are closed. So that means there's 300 that are still open at the time of doing this. See, this changes every day. So this is a good place to start. They have them listed there, and has state by state program. So go find it. Also, what you do is go to your state housing financial institute. Every state has a housing finance authority. Okay, they give out money for housing. They'll know about this. And if you go to their headquarters membership, for the Association of Housing Finance Authorities, it's NCSHA, NCSHA, NCSHA.org. And you go there, find your state, click on, and then you call them. Say, hey, where is the new rental program going to be? Will that be you guys or where? Yeah. Just call. If you don't call, man, you're not going to get anything. You can't believe the internet, and you got to get on the horn. Now, here's 6 other places to get free research help before you give me $30 or $20. I'm sorry. Community researchers, number 1, 211.org. Findhelp.org. These are both nonprofit organizations that try to find all the benefit programs from other nonprofits or from government offices, okay? None of them have things in their database that will charge you money. That's what I do. None of my stuff will charge you any money, anything I give you. I screw up, and I do, but it's supposed to not, ever. And 211 you could call on the phone, so that's good. You call them up. I'm sure they had calls like this. So if 211 is where you are, call them up and say, hey, where are they going to have this to apply to, this new COVID, rent for, 12 months or more, assistance under the new law that's passed today. They've been talking about it for 10 months or whatever. Okay, also your local library, if they're open, shows you how to find it. You go to careeronestop.org and put find libraries. Community action agencies, man, they're terrific. They know about low-income programs, so if you're struggling, you want to know about them, they'll know where that is too. Your elected representative, yes, contact them. Okay, I used to live in Maryland, so I put Maryland because DC doesn't have many representatives. So the congressmen, 2 senators, they don't have any of this new stuff yet. They brag about how they passed the bill, but they don't have any help on how to apply to it. But get their websites right now. Go to this commoncause.org, find your representative, go there. Find your 2 senators and congressmen, get their websites, get their phone numbers, and because you want to know where that is locally, and they're the people to call. Because you call me, I got to call them. They wrote the bill. Why call somebody that you're going to give money to or something that has to find out for it? You call the people the horse's mouth. The rest of us are horses' asses. So you want to go to the horse's mouth to find out this stuff. And that's the important thing, okay? So that's how, and free legal help. Now that's it. If you get really in trouble with your rent or mortgage and everything, this is great. JustShelter.org. They have a state-by-state listing of all the legal help. We have good law firms that they get grants to help people for free solve housing problems. Don't forget your landlord and mortgage guys. They got lawyers up the kazoo to fight you and make sure they get their money. So if you're just you against them, man, that's like bringing a butter knife to a gunfight, So you got to get some artillery on your side, and that's what this is. It makes it a little more even game, so you're right. In other words, they're trapping. To get money, you see people will just lie or do anything and stretch the truth or whatever, and it may or may not be right. We've learned a lot about that in the last couple of years. So that's it. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, go down in the description. I'll have a link. You could have a free copy of this as long as not too many members complain that I'm giving what they're paying for. But I hope I'm giving them enough service that they could give a Christmas present too. And then pass it on to anybody you know. Man, people got to know this stuff because we're all paying for it. It's whether you live in, just because you live in this country, you have access to all this free stuff. So share the wealth, help other people. People need this, right? So send that link to them. Say, hey, let's go. That crazy idiot on TV with the funny hair. I don't wonder if they say question marks or heartfelt suits anymore. They just say maybe funny hair. He has this, and you should know about it.